have space for my tres leches? I bet everybody knows what a tres leches is. Do you know? Do you know what a tres leches is? It's a sweet condensed Puerto Rican dessert. A woman stepped onto a plane, cradling a delicate container. Do you have space for my tres leches? She asked. Her voice tingled with concern. The flight attendant smiled and replied, you can place it in the overhead bin or underneath the seat in front of you. The woman nodded, quietly bowed her head, and walked to her seat, putting the tres leches underneath the seat in front of her and holding it for the whole flight. Just let that sink in. We'll go back to the tres leches. Roots in Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, the daughter of a woman who grew up as an only child, navigating a strained relationship with her own mother, my grandmother. My grandmother, unmarried and pregnant, was sent to New York to give birth under the watchful eye of an aunt, so the island wouldn't learn her secret. Shh, because you shouldn't be pregnant if you're not married, right? When my mother was 22, she returned to Puerto Rico to visit her grandparents. That trip changed her life. She met my father, a young man with a passion for speed, a hot dude, right, with a lot of cars that know how to fix all motorcycles, Latin, kind of like Bad Bunny like that. So she was right in. Having grown up without a maternal warmth, she was drawn into his family, especially his mother. A bond formed between the two, one that filled my mother's void that she carried for years. They married, and I was born, followed by my two siblings. But by the time I was 7, our family began to fracture. Sorry. And no, we should not be sorry if you're emotional. You should let your emotions rise. My father fell into addiction, drugs, alcohol, and petty theft. He became abusive. And we, as children, witnessed it all. I was 10 when the chaos began to unravel. My mother turned to her mother-in-law, hoping that love and closeness meant what was already broken. We moved in together, holding tightly to hope, but nothing changed. I was just 13 years old when my mother asked me, should we leave? And very quietly, because nobody should know what was going on, I remember answering without hesitation, yes, please, Mom, let's go. That night, my mom, my siblings, and I crawled quietly into the dark to a woman's shelter, not knowing what the future will hold for us. After the divorce, my siblings stayed with our father and my grandmother. I straddled between two worlds, my mother's and my father's. Two worlds, two legacies. On my mother's side, the man she called Dad was actually her grandfather. She never knew her biological father. Grandpa Pablo was a gallerista. Do you know what that is? A gallerista? A rooster handler. I know that cockfighting is illegal here in the States, but in Puerto Rico it's not. It seems like a cultural tradition. And as a child, I didn't grasp the full picture and the violence that brings. I only knew that my abuelo, Pablo, loved roosters. To me, they were magical. Their feathers shimmer. Their claws fascinate me, and their eyes held secrets. Fascinate me, and their eyes held secrets. My abuelo wore a feather fedora hat. Isn't that beautiful? The fedora hat is so, when you guys put on, it's very hot, right? So I thought he was like Fred Astaire. He was so handsome. I love watching him bathe the roosters in the morning light, their crows forming a symphony around him. And you wouldn't believe, but the roosters used to follow him around like a dog will follow you. That's where my love for roosters began. I have a big collection of roosters in my kitchen. Don't tell nobody, please. On my father's side, life was full of creativity, painting, textures, and beautiful materials. I discovered a passion for fashion and art and writing. My mother, yes, she could sew. Yes, she could paint. But my grandmother and my uncle from the side of my father, they were the ones that truly nurtured my artistic spirit. My grandmother graduated, for those that know about Puerto Rico and fashion, she graduated from Carlota Alfaro, a renowned fashion institute in Puerto Rico. My uncle studied plastic art in Santurce, en la Escuela de Bellas Artes. Together, they form a team like no other. And they manage a store called Atelier Mi Niña. Their influence shaped me profoundly. From ashes to ascent. In early childhood, my mother and I faced another trial. One day, returning from grocery shopping, I found our street blocked, fire marshals and police everywhere. Our apartment building complex was engulfed in flames, and she thought I was in it. We lost everything once again. At the time, I worked in a place called the Palm Court in Puerto Rico, all San Juan. And the management graciously gave us a room for 6 months. Can you believe that? Without paying a cent. While we rebuilt our lives. Sadly, it wasn't family who saved us. It was total strangers. In that moment, I experienced the meaning of generosity and gratitude. That not only family are there for you, but also the ones around you and the ones I call my tribe. A life in disguise. Maybe a lot of you don't know this part about me. Yes, creativity runs through my veins. But at that moment, I chose a different path. I became a flight attendant. I didn't want to sew, even though I know how to. I didn't want to paint. You know, when you're a little kid, you're like, I don't want to be like them. I want to be different. So I want to find my own path. For 20 years, I lived among the clouds. It was thrilling, rewarding, liberating, well paid, but something inside me still longed for more. So I paused my flying career and pursued a dream. I became a certified designer. Inspired by my journey, my mother left her job as a paralegal. Can you imagine? That was a good job. And she left it because she saw passion in me. And she said, I will support you. And together, we launched a place called The Atelier, a tailoring and garment studio. Our business blossomed. I was commissioned by Miss Universe pageant Puerto Rico to do traditional ensembles, embroideries, and more. I was doing bridal gowns, quinceañera dresses. I was doing talk shows, magazines, and more. I even created a full collection of uniforms for an airline called Caribbean Airlines in the Caribbean. The armor of a soldier. Then life shifted again, like it happens. During a routine checkup, my mother's doctor discovered a lump in her breast. The earliest mammogram appointment was from there to 3 to 4 to 6 months. We couldn't wait. And a family member in Buffalo recommended Roswell Park Cancer Center. So I flew her immediately, and the diagnosis, breast cancer. Her surgery was brutal. When she was discharged, I became her caregiver. One day, she asked me to help change her dressings. That's when I saw it. Her breast was gone. I froze. Tears streamed down my face, and she got very close to me. And she said, she wiped my tears from my cheeks and said softly, "This is just the armor of a soldier. Don't panic. Don't be afraid of the wounds you will carry. Be grateful for them. They will shape you into the woman you meant to become." I know a lot of you met my mother. She was so sweet, right? But very strong. Return to flight, return to purpose. After selling the business, I returned to flying, transferring to Chicago so I could commute to Buffalo easily. I became a nomad, my heart aching each time I left her. I flew to provide for her, to sustain her care. Just as she entered remission, I was promoted to instructor at the American Airlines Academy in Dallas-Fort Worth. And you will say, that is, what else do you want? That is amazing, right? And I was specializing in over-water-equipped aircraft in dual languages. Even at the highest of my career, I understood success means nothing without health and family. Eventually, my sister moved to Buffalo to be closer to mom, and I followed. I took the early retirement and moved with my companion at the time to Buffalo. My mother, Yvonne, that's her name. Can you say it with me? Yvonne. Immersed herself in the community, helping wherever she could. She was fierce. She didn't bow to anyone. And I will say it again, women, when you look at me, she didn't bow to anyone, and you shouldn't bow neither. Resilient yet humble, a woman of God, I carry her example in everything I do. A house of healing. The home I live now was once a studio of an artist, because God had plans for you. This woman that lived there, there was an artist, she passed away in the attic long before I arrived. Her husband sold me the house for next to nothing, leaving behind all her belongings, all her easels, all her paints. And my sister can attest to that, because God had plans for you. To some, might sound airy, but to me, I felt like a renaissance, a quiet invitation to create again, a space that I can call my own, a space where art could breathe. And it's not to brag, but it's a walking attic that I never thought I could have. And I can paint, do sewing, jewelry, have coffee, wine, and gather, because God had plans for you. Soon after, I met Marisa. She's not here today, but I know a lot of you know who I'm talking about, who introduced me to incredible women in this community, women of greatness, women of resilience and companion, with a lot of compassion. And I'm talking about you. Where is Dinora? Where is Wilda? Where is my sister? Where is Kelly? Where is Marce? Right? All of you belong to my tribe, and I'm on your tribe as well. The community leaders recognize my leadership and determination and offer me the role of older adult director at a nonprofit organization on Buffalo's West Side. I led the senior program for 12 years, and today I lead the adult program at Westside Community Services. And I am proud to share with you a very good thing that happened today. The program at Westside Community Services won the 2025 Network in Aging Best Older Adult Program of the Year in Buffalo. Thank you. Leading our senior community has brought me immense joys, and I never it bring me immense joys, but I haven't forgot the arts. In 2016, I co-founded Los Artistas del Barrio to mentor, educate, and inspire through the arts. This upcoming year will be 10 years. Time flies. Be ready, because we're gonna be celebrating with a gala, and I would like to see all of you. As a former director of the Hispanic Heritage Council, Western New York, I dedicate myself to serve my community through education and healing, using my abilities as a transformative tool. The final storm. Just when life seems to find us, just when life seems to find its balance, another storm creep in. I experienced domestic violence, verbal and physical abuse. I won't go into details, but I will say this. I have to jump from a moving vehicle to escape my captor. I've been kidnapped. And my captor said to me while he was speeding down the highway, "When we get home, I will kill you." My sister and my mother stood with me through all. And what is life without family? After surviving that ordeal, someone dared to tell me, you need to leave Buffalo and start all over again somewhere new. But my mom taught me not to bow, remember? My mother taught me not to bow. So I stood, I grew stronger, and I forgive him. Because forgiveness is not for you to carry. It is for your soul to be released and you can be free. I forgave to heal my soul and welcome a new breeze into my heart. And he's not here, but he's here. And I love you, Carlos, because God's have plans for you. Do you remember the tres leches? No, you remember that, right? Now I understand. Now I understood that what she was carrying was more than a dessert. Probably was made by her mother, by her sister, by her grandmother, or maybe a close friend, so she could heal her wounds to ease her pain. That moment stayed with me, not because of the cake, but the cake too, but because of the care she put in that tres leches. Remember that I told you that she nestled that tres leches with her feet through the whole flight. That flight attendant was me, but I am not who I am. I was not the person that I am today. It reminds me of my own journey, the things we carry, the things we protect, the things we survive, and when we bow when we shouldn't. Do not bow. And I would like to introduce to you the woman king, Ilu. I am a woman king. You are a woman king, and all belong to the same tribe. My art is a testament to belonging and strength. Ilu is illumination. She enlightens. My name, Aileen, is an Irish name, and my mother put that name because that means enlightenment. It's the moment of birth when the woman gives birth to a child that calls the enlightenment, the light within. And Aileen is not a name in Ireland. It is that moment when a woman gives birth. So Ilu is all of us. She's the woman king, the fierce leader of a tribe. Never ever bow your head. Do not linger in sorrow. To become the woman king, you must walk through fire. As my mother Yvonne says, this is just the armor of a soldier. Don't panic. Don't fear the wounds you will carry. Be grateful for them. They will shape you into the woman you were always meant to be. And if you don't know me by now, my name is Aileen Gonzalez-Marti. I am a daughter. I am a wife. I'm a sister. I'm a friend. I'm an artist. I'm a community leader. But above all, I am my mother's daughter. Thank you.